Pay off my almost $120,000 credit card debt. If you
was $90,000.
That's a good question. I had no plans on paying it off.
Now, let's roll the tape.
So my ex-husband left me with over 100k of debt. Let's talk about it. Hi, I'm Samantha and I'm known as the budget mum.
$100,000. $100,000 in debt. And mind you, this lady is British, so this is like £100,000 in debt. Wait, how did your ex-husband leave you with £100,000 in debt?
UK, and I use cash shopping, saving challenges, budgeting, and honestly every trick in the book to claw my way out of over £100,000 worth of debt after a pretty brutal divorce. I went from designer dresses to shoes with holes in, and finding a way out of that was no walk in the park. At least, not with holes in my shoes. Feeding my daughter leftover buffet food.
Hold on. This is actually a huge problem. She said the man, because they got a divorce, right? He left her with £100,000 worth of debt. So she used to wear designers in clothes and shoes and all that. And suddenly now she's wearing clothes with holes in them. How do you go from that to this right now? That means at some point she was doing well, she could afford to buy like designers, and now suddenly she can't buy those things anymore. And somehow she's putting this on the husband. So how is that the husband's fault? I kind of have an idea of what's happening, even though I don't know this lady, because if while you were married you could afford to buy designers and now suddenly you're divorced and you can't afford those things anymore, it means that the marriage is what afforded you the opportunity to be able to afford designers. So in some sense, the man's money is actually what we are using to buy designers. Or maybe he cushioned her enough that she could afford to use her own money for designers because perhaps the man is taking care of the house. This is the exact reason I always discourage people from buying designers. You might be able to afford that thing, but can you actually afford that thing? You might be able to buy designers, but can you afford designers? Sometimes it's the fact that your husband or your wife makes good money and they cushion you so you can afford to use your money to buy all those things. But on your own, you can't actually afford designers. And that's why in this divorce, she's gone from grace to grass because the man used to cushion her before. My question is, how did he leave her with like 100k of debt? That's what I'm interested in.
To stretch things further, yep, did that. No heating on for nearly 2 years. Did that too. Stealing condiment sachets and butter pats from Wetherspoons. Did it. And look, there are definitely things from that time I'm not proud of. But you know what I am proud of? I did it. By myself. Those same 2 feet, the ones with holes in the shoes, got me out the other side.
That's actually very bad. Right. So if you went from this great story where you were doing very well and now that you're divorced, you can't even afford to heat your house anymore and you're struggling to feed yourself and to do like the basic things, it's a huge problem. It means that there was a problem with the finance even in the marriage. It wasn't about the divorce. It means that even in the marriage you already had like financial problems, but like I said, I feel like the man at some point was cushioning her. That's what I'm suspecting.
Right, and now I talk about money. Honestly, the shame, the pressure, the survival mode, because I know what it feels like when life completely blindsides you. So if you're trying to save money, get out of debt, or just even survive a really hard season of life, feel me, because if I can claw my way back from that, I promise you, there is hope.
Oh my god, when she said the shame, right, I kind of understand where she's coming from, because having debt comes with a lot of shame. This is something that we tend to hide from people. When you have debt, people even hide these things from their from their spouse, and that's why sometimes when people are going through a divorce, they now realize that the man is like in a huge amount of debt that they had no idea about. So I understand when she said that debt comes with a lot of shame. You don't want people to think that you're not doing well and you've been borrowing to live this life that you're presenting. So I get where she's coming from. Yeah. The thing is, she didn't mention how the 100k came to be. Is that the amount she paid the divorce lawyers, or did she buy the man out of the house? Like, what exactly is that 100k from? 100k is a huge amount of money to spend for a divorce, but that's the problem. People don't realize how expensive divorce is, especially if that divorce is contentious. Divorce gets expensive, especially if the other person doesn't want to separate amicably, and that is why sometimes you see people, before you know what, you've had like 5 or 6 lawyers for this one divorce, and that is how that money climbs up. So I can understand if she paid $100k if this is a contentious divorce, right? But that's actually a huge amount of money to spend on a divorce. I'm so sorry about that. I feel so sorry for her and I wish her all the best. So on to the next one.
I'm bored and I want to feel something, so let's pay off my almost $120,000 credit card debt.
$120,000 in debt.
If you ever feel bad about your debt, don't feel bad, because here's me at almost $120,000, and I'm gonna do this all over again tomorrow.
You know what? I think she has money. How do you have enough money to pay off 120k debt right away, right? And then she says she's going to do the same, like, I'm going to start all over again. Girl, you have money. Let me just move on, please.
By the time I was 30, I realized that I had fucked my life up.
And even though I always fucked my life up.
Everybody told me go to school, go to college, get good grades, get that hefty doctorate degree, get the 6-figure job right after, do the residency, then get a 6-figure. You'll be fine. You'll be living life beautifully. I did all that shit, plus some. And then by the time I turned 30, I was in a whole heap of debt. I was still wondering where my money was.
So what I'm getting is her own debt is from student loans, right? And now she went to school. She's a pharmacist, so she's gone to school. She has a job now that pays her like 6 figures, and she's still not doing well. Why?
All of a sudden, now I have this salary. I can't pinpoint where it was going.
What do you mean you can't pinpoint where your money is going? I find that very confusing. Like, it's your money, it doesn't leave your account on its own. You spent it somewhere. Whenever I hear people say this, and like, I don't know where the money goes, I feel like you're lying to yourself, right? What do you mean you don't know where your money is going? It's in your account. All you have to do is print your statements and look at it and see like where the money is going. So I find this very confusing when people say that. You don't know where the money is going. Come on, you're the one spending it.
Nobody really talks about how embarrassing that is, to make good money but still actually be broke. I can say that I was a little irresponsible.
That's all I want to hear. She's a little irresponsible, so she actually admits that maybe, the fault is on her own side. Because I know sometimes we like to think that, these things happen to us instead of us happening to those things. No, this is not something happening to you. This is something that you're doing to yourself. So if you make 6 figures but you're still somehow broke, I think that's a you problem, and you need to look into yourself, introspect, and figure out what the problem is. Sometimes we try to minimize how much money we waste, just like in her own case now. She's trying to say that she was a little irresponsible, whereas it might be much more than being a little irresponsible. Perhaps you're not spending money well, right? You're not saving, you're not investing, and you're wondering where your money is going to. So I feel like when it comes to finances, we have to take responsibility. I know sometimes we like to blame every other thing. Maybe she took us a huge loan for education, right? But now that you make 6 figures, I find no reason why you can't find a way to gradually pay that thing back. So we have to start being accountable to ourselves. And I like how she actually acknowledged that perhaps she was a little irresponsible. So
I wasn't stupid.
Just never.
Oh, don't call yourself stupid, babes. You're not stupid. Irresponsible, yes, but stupid, no.
But I just never learned how money truly works. And in part 2, I'm going to tell you exactly how much debt I had by the time I was 30, because...
Wait, you know what? I actually want to find that video where she talks about it. I want to know the exact amount of money that she's owing.
I cheated. Yep. At one point, I was delivering groceries. Is what it is.
I don't think she ever mentioned. Wait.
I paid off over 100.
So she said it's over 100K. So she doesn't mention the exact figure, but it's over 100K, right? Which is it's up there, right? But for someone that makes 6 figures as well, I see no reason why she can't figure out how to pay up that debt. Even though she says the 100K, right? I think it goes beyond the student loan, because she was a bit irresponsible, which means that she borrowed money and spent on something, because there's no way you're going to say that your education is irresponsible, right? It has to be something else. So I suspect that she was spending money on other things, she was borrowing money to spend on other things. So her debt is over 100K, and I don't know how she got into that, but you know what? I wish her all the best, because she makes good money and there's no reason why she can't pay this back. There's something she said she doesn't know how money works, or she didn't know how money works then, right? And this is why personally I always encourage financial literacy. You need to know what money is and how money works, how to save, how to invest, and all that, because you cannot afford to be illiterate when it comes to money. So next,
my name's Lindsay. I'm in charge of the family finances, and I've done a bad job, and I'm admitting my sins right now. Okay, we're just gonna start with the credit cards. I'm really nervous. At the top of the list is Apple. I owe $9,005.39.
Wait, how do you owe Apple $9,000? Oh my gosh. This is why I never applied for that credit card. What do you mean you owe Apple $9,000? Oh my gosh.
Next on the list, we have my Amex card, $1,472.73.
So from Amex is 100. Okay, fair enough. Almost 1,500, but that's not bad. So she mentioned that she's the one in charge of the family finance, and she's not doing a good job with it. And this is why trust issues tend to come into marriage. When your spouse cannot trust you with money, and there is a chance that perhaps the husband has no idea that she was raking up all this debt. And can you imagine how that feels, to know that your spouse has been accumulating debt behind your back, and now you're also responsible for that debt as well, and you had no idea? I don't know if that's the case for her, I'm just assuming, right? But if she's the one in charge of the finances and she's raking up all this debt, I like to think that the husband is not aware that this is happening, and that's just so unfair.
I hope you heard it. I'm gonna write it on the screen, but I'm sweating. Mind you, I just paid that one off last month.
So she paid off Amex, and it's non-Apple, so she's doing well.
My Amazon card, $526.78.
What the fuck? So she's owing Amazon over $500. That's interesting.
8 cents. None of it was spent on Amazon. And I just...
Okay, and she didn't spend the money on Amazon, because I was going to say, what were you buying on Amazon? But so she didn't spend the money on Amazon. It was just a credit card that she used for something else. Got it.
Paid that one off last month too.
So she's paid that one off as well. So she's doing well, okay.
Okay. Okay, moving on to the debts that I accrued the last time I said I was going to get out of debt. You should get a debt consolidation loan, and it'll pay off all of your credit cards, boost your credit score, and you'll pay it at a lower interest rate. And I said, that sounds like a great idea.
So she took out another loan to pay off the debts that she already has, like robbing Peter to pay Paul, which is sometimes what we recommend that you do, right? So she borrowed money to pay off the loan that she has to boost up her credits. Okay, I get it.
So on that loan, I still owe $23,000.64.
Jesus Christ. So she borrowed 20. I'm not laughing. So she borrowed $23,000 to pay off the other loans that she's owing. Okay, wait, I'm actually very confused now. Wait, I thought she was owing $9,000. So why did she borrow over like $20,000 to pay off the $9,000? Because mind you, she's paid off the Amex and the Amazon. So like, what is the... I'm confused.
Okay, next we have our cars. So on the Rogue that we've had for a long time, we still owe money. So we still owe $4,774.49.
Okay. So they owe over $4,700 on their car, right? Okay, we all need a car. I can understand that. Okay.
We bought that one like 7 years ago.
This is so confusing. So this is the car that she bought 7 years ago, and you're still owing $4,700. Please, if you're American, I want you to explain to me, how is that possible? Like, how do you get a loan for a car that depreciates, right? A car that you bought 7 years ago, how is that possible that you've not paid it off up to this moment? And that means she's been paying, right? But you're still owing like over $4,700 on a car that you bought 7 years ago. I look even to think that if she wants to sell that car right now, she's not even going to make up to like that $4,700. So why? I don't know. Like, there's no way I'm owing $4,700 on a car that I bought 7 years ago. Wow.
On the van, which we bought last year, we still owe $21,078.16.
Okay, so they bought a car, did she say Rogue, 7 years ago? And last year they bought a van. And they're still owing over 21K. That's interesting.
And then on top of that, we have our student loans. So I owe $33,302.
Did you hear that? They have student loans as well.
61 cents. And my husband owes $33,159. All of this for a whopping grand total of $126,383.16. This is going to be really embarrassing.
That is crazy. That is crazy. You know what? I kind of understand, because like a huge amount of this is from student loans, which I understand you want to go to school and all that. So that's understandable. But the rest of them, I do not understand. How do you have a car that you bought 7 years ago, you've not paid it off, and then last year you went and bought a van, and now that added like, 21K loan on top of what you already have? The thing is, I don't know how people sleep when they have like huge loans like this. If it's a business loan and then there's a means for you to pay that back, I understand. But this is a loan. 126K is a huge amount of money for a family, and I hope they have no kids. Wait, let me see if they have kids. Let me go to our page and see if they have kids, because that would be crazy to have kids and you have like 126. Oh my gosh, that is crazy. Okay, I don't think they have kids. She says nothing. No, okay, I don't think so, thank God. Wait,
You're struggling to pay off debt because
they have kids. Oh my God, I'm actually seeing a baby right now. Like, there's a baby in the car. Wow. No. Oh my gosh. What the fuck? How? You know what? You got this.
I'm 24 years old and I currently owe $31,876 in credit card debt, and this is my credit card debt breakdown. I have 7 accounts that I need to pay off, and I'm going to be listing them from lowest to highest.
So she's how old again? 24, and she's owing like over 31K in credit card debt. So where's the money from? Okay.
So the first one is my Saver One credit card. I currently owe $200 on that one. I have an Affirm account where I basically set up payment plans, and on that I owe $276. On my Freedom Chase account, I owe $1,872. On my Capital One card, I owe $4,260. On my Best Buy credit card, I owe $6,204. On my Chase credit card, I owe $7,380. And last but not least, certainly not least, on my Discover credit card, I owe $11,604. I know, it's a lot.
It's a lot. Yes, my sister, it's actually a lot. That's a lot of money. And the thing is, I want to know where they spend this money. Like, not just about breaking down the debt, right? I want to know what you spend that money on. I can understand if it's like a medical bill, understandable, you don't want to die, of course. But I want to know exactly what you're spending $31,000 on as a 24-year-old. She's too young to have that debt. Like, she's way too young for that. Way too young for that. And unfortunately, the thing is, once you start accumulating debt, there is actually like no end to it, unless you put a stop to it by yourself. Once you get comfortable living your life on loans, there is no going back. Because at 24, I'm trying to imagine what she's spending all that money on. I don't think this is student loan. It couldn't be, right? It has to be something else. So what exactly are you spending 31K on as a 24-year-old? I feel like she's too young to start accumulating this amount of debt right now. If at 24 you have this amount of debt, imagine what happens when you clock like 40.
Make it happen. If you're drowning in debt too, follow along because we're gonna get this debt paid off this year.
I'll give her props. At least she acknowledged that she knows how she got here. Sometimes people deny it. It's like, oh, I don't know what happened. But she knows how she got there, so she's gonna crawl out. And I believe her. I feel like she's that I feel like she's determined, right? So good luck. So good luck to her. I wish her all the best. I feel like, she's too young and she can still do it. I don't know what her job is or how much she earns to see like how fast she can do this, but I kind of feel like she can do it. She's got this. So okay.
By age 24, I was in well over £50,000 worth of debt solely due to gambling.
What the fuck? So this man here is 24 years. Wait, he's not 24, but at the age of 24, he was like 50K pounds in debt because of gambling. You know what? Let's actually talk about gambling, because I feel like this is the part that I feel like gambling debt is something that we tend to overlook. Sometimes the student loan is medical, is like just shopping sprees and all that. But I feel like when it comes to debt, the worst of all is gambling, right? Even though I feel like every debt is bad, right? But I feel like gambling is up there. Gambling is up there because unfortunately, I don't know, I feel like there's a spirit behind gambling. When you meet gamblers, they act like they are possessed. The way they spend money, like they spend money like it's pepper. So I can understand how at the age of 24 you are 50K in debt. Wait, how old is this man? Because he looks very old to me.
And so that I didn't have a mental breakdown day to day, I would carry this delusional belief that I could get myself out of it if I could just access enough money.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. People that gamble act like they're possessed, right? The way they spend money, they don't spend money like it's money, right? I have seen people who gamble make like say over like 500K, and somehow within a few days that money is gone. It's all spent on gambling. And the worst thing about gambling is because there's a chance that you can make money back, they don't mind putting everything in there because there's this hope that I'll make that money back. That's why I say that I understand how quickly this happens, because I know people who gamble, and unfortunately it's not something good to behold. Just when you meet gamblers that are addicted to gambling, it's not a good thing. People that gamble will sell their family because they believe that there's a chance they'll make back the money to go buy back their family. That's how bad gambling is. I feel like 50K is very low compared to like what I've seen when it comes to gambling. So this is actually bad, really, really bad.
I could win it all back somehow. And I was taking out loans, and every time I took out a loan, I would say it was to consolidate my other debts, and I never paid them off. The figure just grew and grew, and my parents didn't know. And one of the most stressful experiences I had in the whole of my active gambling addiction, which was over 20 years, was on this day. I'd taken out a loan with Marks and Spencer's for 12 grand, and I had to be at home to meet the courier so that I could show him my ID, show him I lived at the address, do the paperwork on the doorstep, and then they could release the funds the following day. And I remember, I think they gave me like a 90-minute window of when he would be there. And I was at work, and I remember I told my boss that I was going to the dentist so that I had a little bit extra time for my lunch break. But I had to drive from Basingstoke to Farnborough, which was about 25 minutes. do this necessary business and then drive back. But at the same time, not let it clash with my mum coming home from work, who worked part-time and everything.
You know what, let's actually pause here and say something. The thing is, every form of debt has this shame attached to it. But when it comes to gamblers actually act like drug addicts. Gamblers lie a lot. That's one thing I've come to notice about them, is they lie a lot, and they live this sort of secret life. They have like a public facing life, and then like they have the secret life where no one knows what's going on. And this is exactly what we see in his case, where he doesn't want people to know. Like, he didn't tell the boss, so now he told the boss that he's going to the dentist. But also he doesn't want to clash with the mom, because he doesn't want the mom to know that he's taking out loans. So he's like, you are living this secret life because you have like this addiction, and you have this life that you're trying to hide from other people.
Every day she'd be in around 2:15, maybe 2:20 at the latest. So I remember I just flew out the door, sprinted down the M3 in the car, obviously, fastest I've ever driven, and get there, and he's not there. And then I'm sat there just thinking, he has to come soon. This process can't take that long. He can't sit on the driveway doing paperwork for when mum comes in. We've got to wrap this up. And I remember he came right about 10 minutes after I'd arrived there. The process took about 10 minutes. I've never done it so fast in my life. He must have thought, what on earth is up with this guy? But I didn't want to make it seem like I was rushing too much, but at the same time just wanted him gone. Probably should have told him that I didn't want my mum to know, and that might have, but at the time I was just too nervous and too apprehensive about the whole thing. Made it back to work about 5-10 minutes after I said I'd been there. No one really said anything. Mum never knew, but the heart rate and the adrenaline from the whole morning at work leading up to that, to dashing down the motorway, to just hoping that the timings collided, just so stressful. Such a toll on my nervous system over the years gambling that it was no wonder that by the end of it I was having panic attacks, couldn't sleep. Horrible experiences.
You know what? I can actually admit that this is the first time I kind of appreciate the government's involvement in regulating gambling. Gambling is actually a huge addiction. Like I said earlier, people that gamble act like drug addicts. The kind of shit they'll pull off to get money to gamble, like, it's nothing you can comprehend, I promise you. I've seen people literally gamble away their salary on the day it was paid. Like, gambled everything, every single thing. Like, you worked a month to get paid this amount of money, and you gambled everything because you believe there's a chance you make back money. People have gone homeless because of gambling. People have divorced because of gambling, because the kind of debts that they rake up is nothing to write home about. Of course, I feel sorry for the man, but I feel like he's out of the woods now. He said that was 20 years ago or something like that, or he was in gambling for 20 years or whatever it is. But I hope he's out of it. Wait, let me actually look at his page and see if he still gambles.
So it's a Friday morning, and I wake up one of the biggest ways to tell if you're... So we're going to the bank.
Okay, so I feel like he's recovering now, and he's teaching other people, like, how not to get into this whole thing, and that's a good thing. So, but 50k in debts, oh my god. I can actually understand the betrayal that families feel like when they realize that you've been hiding this huge thing from them. All the best to him. I feel like he has solved the problem, because first of all, you need to acknowledge that that's the problem, which is done already, and now he's trying to help other people not fall into this addiction. So that's a very good thing. 50k in debts just in gambling is really huge, and I feel sorry for people that fall into this whole thing. And I feel like this industry needs to be regulated even way more. Like, they need to be very strict about how much money they can take from people, because I feel like this is unfair, honestly. Totally unfair.
Let's talk about how much debt I'm in so you feel better about your finances. Only today I'm going to be giving you a breakdown of what is on every single one of my credit cards and how that differs from 5 weeks ago.
Wait, is this the lady from earlier? Let me have a look. Is she the lady from earlier? Because I feel like I've seen her face, or is this someone else? Okay, she's not.
Let's talk about how much debt I'm in so you feel
so she's a different person. So let's get back to it again.
Let's talk about how much debt I'm in so you feel better about your finances. Only today I'm going to be giving you a breakdown of what is on every single one of my credit cards and how that differs from 5 weeks ago. Let's get into it. First up is my Capital One card. This was the balance as of 5 weeks ago, and this is the current balance. So we paid down.
Oh yeah, so she's doing well. It's like, oh yeah, she's doing well.
Down quite a lot on this card. Next up is my credit union card. Again, this was the balance 5 weeks ago, and this is the balance as of today. Here's our Spirit card balance 5 weeks ago, and here's the Spirit balance as of today.
Okay. Oh my god, that's actually that's a lot of debt, right? But at least she's paying it off.
Here's the Capital One card balance as of 5 weeks ago.
The thing is, I keep saying, like, apart from showing us the money that you're owing, I want to know what you spend that money on. Like, that's all I'm actually interested in. If this money was spent on something that you couldn't afford to lose or something, I can understand, right? But I just hope that this money was not spent on like shopping or eating out or whatever that is. I want to know, like, I want a breakdown, but then the breakdown I want is for you to tell me where the money was spent. How much did you borrow? What's the interest rate? Like, I want to know what's the original amount of money that you borrowed, because sometimes people borrow and then the interest rate is so high that it skyrockets. That's why I want you to give me like a breakdown of how much did you borrow, what's the interest rate, what did you spend the money on. Like, that's more meaningful to me than just watching the amount of money that you're owing. But you know, we can make do with this one.
And here's the Capital One balance as of today. Here is our Chase balance as of 5 weeks ago. And here is the Chase balance as of today. Here's the Amazon Prime Visa as of 5 weeks ago.
This lady is actually owing a lot of money. I'm sorry. That's a lot of money. I feel like she's just owing everyone that is available to owe. How? 10,000.
And here's the Prime Visa as of today.
The thing is, the money is going down, but I feel like she's spreading herself too thin, right? I would rather you like put all that money to pay off like a certain loan and then go on to the next one, because right now it's like she's paying off like a little bit at a time, which is making a difference, but not that much difference, right?
This was our Southwest card as of 5 weeks ago.
Oh my God, there's another one, $11,000.
And this was the balance on the Southwest card today.
Wait, it went up.
And yes, this is accurate. These pictures are not switched. The interest on this one is absolutely horrendous. Horrendous.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I want to know the interest rates on each loan that you took out, right? Because now we're saying that the interest, oh my God, that's actually very high. For that to go from like 11,300 to 11,500, that's crazy. Did she say 5 weeks or a week? I think I had 5 weeks. Okay, let's keep going.
Here is our American Express balance 5 weeks ago. And here it is as of today. It's our Bank of America card balance as of 5 weeks ago. And here it is.
There should really be a limit to how much cards one person can own, because this is not fair on her. It's not fair that, how do people sleep at night knowing that they have this amount of debts and no means to pay it back? I always say, if it's a business loan, I understand that the business can make money to pay back the loan, right? But when it's like a personal loan, how do you get that money to pay back? How much is she even owing?
As of today. So I'm sure now you're wanting some totals, and I'm so excited to give them to you. So 5 weeks ago, we had $48,790.51 worth of debt. Today, we have $45,612.42. So total, we have paid down $3,178.09 in the last roughly 5 weeks. I have been waiting for a bunch of our payments to go through in order to make...
What did you spend? How do you even accumulate that amount of debt? How do you accumulate that amount of debt? $48,000 in debt is crazy. It's crazy. But you keep saying we, so I believe that this is like, you know, she and the husband. Fair enough. But I feel like it's too much. I really feel like it's too much. I really feel like it's too much. It gets to a point, and that's why I always say that borrowing is like a slope to the downwards. The moment you get comfortable borrowing, there is no stopping. Once you get comfortable living on loans, there is no stopping from that. You have to make like a very deliberate effort to get away from that life. Once you get that comfortable, it's done. I promise you. That's a huge amount of money, but at least they are paying it back, so kudos to them. Next one.
I'm drowning in credit card debt. And I don't know what to do. If you're seeing this video, you probably are also drowning in credit card debt, and I wish I knew how to help you, but I don't, because I don't even know what to do for me. So here's the story. I'm 30. I'm a stay-at-home mom of 2, and I have something called cystic fibrosis. And back in November of last year, I left my career, and I had been a working person ever since I could get a permit because my health was deteriorating, and my husband and I decided it was more important that I stay home with the kids and stop trying to work at the same time and consider my health first, because obviously, if you know what CF is, it already shortens my life expectancy, and my kids deserve for me to be here as long as possible. So we did that, and everything was okay because my husband worked really hard and he figured out a way to bridge the gap between the two incomes, and it was good until it wasn't. And then we started putting stuff on credit cards, and we couldn't pay those credit cards off like we were used to. And then a couple months ago, we regrouped, we figured some stuff out, and we found some extra money. We did some extra things to make some extra money, and we started putting that towards the debt. But then our escrow went up. It was severely deficient, so our mortgage payment went up by $400 a month and took all of that extra money that we had found.
Oh my God. You know what? I actually do feel sorry for her because this is actually about her health, right? So she has CS and she had to stop working because, you know, the health was just going down. And now they're struggling. And now the escrow went up and the mortgage went up by what? Did she say $400? Wow, that's, you know, $400 might not seem like much, but by the time you put together like other bills as well, it does get up there. And mind you, it's only the husband working now. You know what? I feel sorry for this lady because what she's going through right now is something that happens to anybody. If your health ever fails you, there's a chance that you might fall into this scenario as well. So this is not something I can judge her on. And of course, I can also advise her not to be sick. You know, it's not something you get to control sometimes, especially like, you know, in the case of something like CS. I do feel very sorry for her because I can't imagine going through all this knowing that, you know, it's partially because of, you know, you, even though it's not her fault, but it's, you know, the debt is because she doesn't work anymore and now they're having to like struggle. So I do feel for her and I'm short of words when it comes to issues like this. So in the case of this lady, I fully understand, you know, what's happening and I don't blame her at all. I don't feel like it's her fault. It's just unfortunate, honestly. It's unfortunate.
And now I don't have the opportunity to go work. I don't have the opportunity, because of my health, to do anything else other than just take care of my kids and myself right now. And come next year, my husband's going to try to do more stuff on the side from his actual career.
And for those who don't know, CS is very taxing on the body, and I can understand why she's not working as well. As someone that has treated people that have CS in the hospital, I understand her perfectly.
I'm monetized on this app, so this can be a job for me, and I can try to make money off of views on here. So if you relate to me, you can just watch these videos. I get qualified views, and then I'll make a couple.
So her name is Michaela CF. In case you want to watch her on TikTok and support her, you know, she says she makes money on TikTok. So, you know, go give her a follow, watch her and support her. So the next one says, debts I have accumulated at the ripe age of 23. So this lady here is 23, and let's see her debts.
Stupid.
$12,000 at the age of 23.
Or is it slow?
Wait. It goes on actually. It's not just 12,000. So from Venture X is 12,000, and then from Sapphire is 15,000. Okay. Do we have more?
Maybe it's useless.
No fucking way. So there is an additional 2006, 2007. Interesting. Where is all this money going to? That's what I want to know. Where is the money?
There's a cuter word for it. I know.
Wait, at the age of 23, you have over $30,000 in debts. That is crazy. That is crazy. I keep asking, what are they spending this money on? I just wish they'll give us a breakdown. What are you spending $30,000 on at the age of 23? What exactly? That's crazy. Let me see if she says anything about it. I'm checking the comments to see if she says anything about like where this money went to. I think the problem is that people treat credit card like it's free money. I feel like they spend not remembering that they need to pay back this money because it's easy money, right? Because you didn't work for it. But then you have to pay back at some point. She didn't say anything about how she spent the money, so I'm just going to keep moving.
I'll die with student loan debt. You can't get out of it.
How much in student loans?
So my schooling was $90,000. I'm close to...
That's actually high. That's very high. But I feel like that's a thing for Americans. $90,000 for student loans. Okay.
$200,000 in debt with interest.
Did you hear that? She is almost at $200,000 in debt with interest. What's the interest rate? I keep asking, like, what's the interest rate? I want to know how much they're charging you guys for this loan that you keep taking from them.
With interest.
How long has it been?
Almost 20 years ago.
Have you ever bought something and then
Wait. So she took out this loan like 20 years ago, and from what I've seen on Twitter about American student loans, I think they tend to be predatory. So they give you this amount of money, but then the interest is very high as well. And that is why it seems like sometimes most of them never pay it off.
Regretted it? Like just bought something dumb?
I bought a pickup truck.
How much was the pickup truck?
Like $80,000.
Oh my God, it gets to a point. It gets to a point. I said it gets to a point. So let me get this. You have $90,000 in student loan, right? Okay, that's not your fault. I get it. You want to go to school and all that. And then you went on to buy a pickup truck that cost you $80,000. Okay, now, so could you not get something cheaper? Could you not buy something out of pocket? If it's like, even if it's like an old car, could you not buy something out of pocket? Like, did you have to go that high for a pickup truck? I think Americans like their pickup truck too, so maybe that's the thing. But $80,000 for a pickup truck, oh my God. I mean, the pickup truck, I know it's worth the $80,000. I'm just saying, do you have to buy that? Like, could you not buy something cheaper?
It was used, 80,000. My plan was
And mind you, it was a used car, wasn't even new. Okay, maybe I don't know much about trucks.
also to put it on Turo, right? So other people can use it as.
Turo is this platform where you can put your car on and people can rent your car for like a day or a week or so. And this is the thing, when people are making like stupid financial decisions, they try to justify it by saying like, you know what, this thing is going to make me more money. Sometimes people are like, oh, I'm buying this thing so I can rent it out eventually and make more money. But you know that's not going to work out that way, right? Even if you rent whatever it is out to make more money, you're not going to be booked and busy all the time. So there's always going to be downtimes.
Well, and then
Heard about this scheme before.
And then I had friends that were like, no, let me just lease it from you. And then I've gotten over. And who pays for the truck?
Oh my gosh, that is actually crazy. So over $200,000 in loan, and the majority of that is the pickup truck and, like you say, the student loan as well. So, okay, so am I to assume that the rest of the money maybe is like the interest on top that you didn't pay, or did you borrow more money to like spend on things? I don't know. Seeing her pattern when it comes to spending, or like her mindset with money, I like to believe that she borrowed more money just to spend on other things as well. Because who buys a truck for $80,000 knowing that you have like a lot of loan, right? It doesn't make no sense to me.
I am in my 30s and I am currently sitting at $25,301 with 66 cents.
So she's 30 and her debt is over $25,000. Okay.
In credit card debt. That is my own consumption, my own doing, and I
like the accountability. I love that.
I also have about a $28,000, $30,000 yearly income.
Oh my God. Wait. 28,000, 30,000 yearly income. She's poor. She is poor. She's not making good money.
It's quite a tight budget, you guys.
I see why she's borrowing. I see why she's borrowing money. But then I also feel like, you know, you can, what do they say, cut your coat according to your coat, right? If you don't make much money, could you not, like, you know, downsize a little bit? I don't know. For you to be making $30,000 a year, but then you have like a debt of almost $25,000, that's something.
Guys, but I am determined and I am ready, because this is about the third time that I've gotten on this journey. But this time is different. We have a game plan. I know exactly what to do. I've really nailed down.
I wonder what the game plan is, because I feel like this is that scenario where you cannot save yourself out of this debt, right? Because let's assume that you make $30,000 a year, right? By the time you pay your mortgage, or let's say by the time you pay your rent, and then you pay the car note, because she's inside the car right now, you pay the car note, you need to feed, you need to do other things. Where are you going to get the money to pay this debt off? According to her, she has a plan, and I'm intrigued to know what the plan is on how to pay this off.
My budget, and I have been controlling my spending habits. I'm no longer running away. I don't need to take.
Perfect. At least this one gave us a clue into where the debt's coming from. So she's a reckless spender, that's number one, and she likes to take trip. You know, she likes to go on holidays, on loans. Oh my God, this is the thing I keep warning people about. Once you get comfortable getting loans to live life, it gets harder and harder to get out of it. Now, why are you going on holidays on a loan? It makes no sense to me. You are taking a loan to go on holidays, and then when you come back, you have to pay it back, right? Why not save that money or save up the money to go on holidays? I feel like it's more enjoyable that way, right? I rather work hard and then go and enjoy than enjoy and come back and work hard.
All those trips anymore. I'm no longer avoiding and spending money I don't have, which is the like bare minimum that I can do at the moment, given my income, because my income is not a lot of dollars in there. However, that is the next goal that I have, is that I will increase my income, which means that I'll be able to pay off.
Yeah, that's a good plan then. If there's a means for her to, like, you know, earn more money, of course she can pay it off then. But on $30,000 a year, I don't see how that's going to work.
Credit cards even more. And I'll keep you guys updated. It is a hard journey. I have a really good meal plan going. I again have.
So that shows that she used to eat out before. She used to buy her foods, but now she's trying to cook more at home, which will save her more money. Okay.
I have a really good tight budget going. I've brought down my utilities expenses
by a lot, by $300-$400.
That's actually very good. That's a good amount of money. Wait, is it like monthly or yearly?
Which has been wonderful. So my next goal is earning a larger income, but we're gonna do it, and hopefully by the end of 2026, imagine I pay off $25,000 on consumer debt by the end of 2026.
Let me go to her page. I think she posted this last year November. Let me go to her page and see if she paid it off. I doubt, but let's see.
Let's make another micro.
Oh, good. This was posted 1 day ago, just yesterday. So
let's make another micropayment to my high interest card. Hi, I'm Karina. I am $25,000 in credit card debt. Let me not say that. I am $23,000 in credit.
Okay. I see. So this video, the first video was posted in November of last year, and this one was posted yesterday, which is the 19th of July, right? And she's only managed to pay off $2,000 since last November. Yeah, I'm scared for her. I'm really scared for her. When she was saying she's gonna pay it off by the end of 2026, I'm like, that's not gonna happen. Let's be realistic. And I'm actually right. It's more than half of the year, and she's only managed to pay $2,000. Oh my God, I'm actually just so worried about her. You know what? Let's move on.
Can you tell us how much debt you have?
I'm not in debt. I'm just paying things off. Like I have medical bills that I'm paying off currently, so that's kind of like what I've been working on.
So you are in debt?
And what's the balance of the medical debt now?
I think the last time I checked was around between $4,500 and $5,000.
And how about you?
At this point, I think it's just my home that we bought. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. So
and same for your husband. Your husband
he has some medical debt, or not medical debt, but student loan debt. Yeah, dental school.
That's an expensive field as far as student loans go. What's left, do you know?
I mean, big digits, like 6 digits.
Can you tell us about your personal finances? Like, how much debt do you have right now?
Right now, pretty minimal. Actually, I'd say somewhere right around 10 grand.
Okay. What kind of debt is that?
Most of that's pretty.
I'm actually laughing because of the first lady that said that she's not in debt, she's just paying off debt. I feel like that's so funny. You know what? Let's keep that positive mindset. She's not drowning in the depths. She's paying it up. Okay, that's fine.
Intentional debt. So I have a loan out on a vehicle right now. It's through that. It was a choice. I could have paid off the car in full, but I decided to just build some credit, have that loan going.
What do you need the credit for?
Just, hey, anything, buying a house.
Just never know when you might need more debt. Know. So what's your plan to pay it off? Are you just going to make minimum payments?
Make minimum payments. Sometimes I make above. Just kind of depends. I don't know. I guess I don't really put that much thought into it.
How much debt do you have?
Right now I'm down probably $20,000 to $25,000 for school. I take out about $5,000 a year.
What's your plan to pay off 25 grand?
That's a good question. I had no plans on paying it off, so.
What do you mean you have no plans to pay it? You're gonna just die with it?
Yeah, I'm gonna die with that.
How old are you?
I'm 22, bro.
What do you mean you have no plans on paying off the debts that you took? You know what? When it comes to student loans and medical debts as well, I tend to go easy on things like that because I understand those are necessities. You really sometimes have no control over them. But what do you mean you have no way of paying it off, or like you have no plans of paying it off?
I might be 77 with this deal.
Can you tell us how much debt you currently have?
I never carry a balance on anything for the last 30 years.
Okay, what advice would you give to young people out there who are about to go into debt? They have
Wow, thank you, big boy.
A bunch of debt. What do you say to those people?
Well, do you have to go into debt? What are you going into debt for? And
if you can't afford life.
Oh, you have to keep your expenses at the cost of life or below. If you can't.
Boom. I love that. Do you have to go into debt, and what are you going into debt for? I feel like sometimes it's so easy for people to borrow money. Sit down and ask yourself, do I really have to do this? And the reason I'm doing it for, is it worth that? Say for instance, you want to buy a car or something, ask yourself, is this an actually like sufficient reason enough for me to go into debt for? That's what he's saying. So I love the advice. On to the next one.
Paid off over $20,000 worth of debt while living alone and still having a good life. I want to tell you the things that I had to do in order to accomplish this. The first thing that I had to do is I absolutely had to stop using my credit cards.
That's very good. So she's owing $20,000. I don't know how old she is. Did she say anything like that? No, I don't think. Okay, so she's in her 30s. I think the hashtag here says single in your 30s. So she's in her 30s. I like that the first thing she did was take accountability and stop using the credit card. Like, that's always the step in the right direction.
I don't care what anybody says. If you're using a credit card, People will justify why they want to use it, whether it's the points or they're building their credit. No, you're probably ruining your credit. If you have a bunch owing on your credit card, you're probably ruining your.
And like I said, it's easier to spend money on credit card because it sounds like free money. You didn't work for that money, right? But then if you start using the debit card, you can see your money living in real time, and it's easier for you to control that. So that's a good point.
Your credit. Be serious and stop using the credit cards. You can sacrifice a few months of not getting points. It's not going to derail your whole financial journey. What's going to derail your whole financial journey is continuing to use credit cards. Stopped using my credit card for, I want to say, it was probably like 6 months or more. Until I paid them off, I stopped using it completely.
What matters is she knows what the problem is, she's staying on track, and she's doing something about it.